I think y'all know when you see this video in the thumbnail, I think you already know what I'm about to go with this, because y'all know I've always been real, when it comes to my opinions and my truths on facts about Power Rangers and what didn't work and what could have worked, as far as like seasons and movies and whatnot. 3 struggling franchises that did not please the fans. The majority of them, basically, even though they got all of a sudden a cult following nowadays. Nowadays it's normal to like and love bad movies, basically. That's just my personal opinion. The Alien Rangers, Turbo or Power Rangers movie, as well as the first half of Turbo, the TV show, and the forgettable 2017 Power Rangers movie, to me, in my opinion. So we're going to start things off with the Alien Rangers and why I believe they absolutely suck. The Bond originally was going to call them Mighty Morphin Ninja Rangers because it's based off of Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger. And Kaku Ranger is very Japanese, ish, as far as like the culture and the history of ninjas and doing some wacky, crazy stuff on there. But you get the point, which is why I prefer Kaku Ranger over Alien Rangers, because in Kaku Ranger it was comedic at first, but it later got dark once the Rangers went on to their journeys. And Ninja Black, shout out to Ken Kazuki, was my favorite Ranger, my personal favorite out of the bunch because of his fight scenes and his character arc. Ninja White is also my favorite as well. Red, he's alright. Blue and Yellow did not have the character whatsoever for those two. They were just there, basically. Though I did enjoy the 30th anniversary special. That was pretty cool. I read in the past that Saban was originally gonna call them aliens to ninjas. Mighty Morphin Ninja Rangers would have been the best title to call a Power Rangers show during season 3. Because I feel like what they could have done was have the Rangers based on their ancestors, based on their animal spirits: wolf, falcon, frog, ape, crane, and bear. And those would have been a great addition based on ninjas, based on their animal spirits. And they would have been Mighty Morphin Ninja Rangers because they're in suits. And the only reason why they made Alien Rangers like that, because just to use the suits based on Kaku Ranger so they could use the Kaku Ranger footage for a mix of original footage and Sentai stock footage. And to me, the Alien Rangers were not good. Why? Because I don't like how they turned the Rangers back into kids. They blew up the command center. They treated Billy like trash, of how they turn him back to normal and have him, watch the Rangers as children. I didn't really like that. And I don't like how the Alien Rangers talk, when they sound, when they morph, when they fight. I don't like how they have to stay hydrated in order to stay alive as Rangers, which is dumb in my opinion. And last but not least, the theme song is just a reminiscence of Go-Go Power Rangers. Same thing, but with the alien lyrics being thrown in it. And not to mention how the show just made no sense at all. And the biggest turn off for me the most, it's just the show just sucked. It's so bad, bro. But I don't know why everybody, for the likes of me, loves bad shows and movies. I'm guessing it's a normal thing now to love bad movies. And I know it's everyone's guilty pleasure, but still, it ain't good. The Alien Rangers is a big red flag, and it's one of the biggest turnoffs for me since a child and all the way up to adulthood, and I'm 34 years old. So what? Even if you watch kid shows when you were a kid growing up, and you watching it as an adult, you realize that how bad it's gotten over the years. So no wonder why this season is more forgettable in my opinion. Next up is Power Rangers Turbo, aka Turbo or Power Rangers movie, and why I believe this is way worse than the TV show. And I'm gonna explain to you why. Back in the summer of '96, when they were finishing Zeo, they went straight in production of filming a Turbo Power Rangers movie. And you can clearly see that in production it was still in '96 and onto the TV show. But at some point in time, you have to stop and realize that back then they didn't really do a good job on making movies that good in the first place, even though it had a bigger budget of a TV show. But the quality and the execution of it was really bad. It was so bad that back then I just tried to figure out, what is this movie about? Who is it for? Basically. But to me, I think when we were kids, I didn't really understand this movie at all, as well as the TV show. The only times I remember Turbo was not just the movie, but the second half of Turbo, when TJ was battling that baseball monster. And anytime they grow, their eyes just, I don't know, it's just weird though. Like, Power Rangers Turbo is such a weird show, but the movie itself is a lot worse because they wasted Jason and Kimberly. Maybe it's because they wanted money, but if I were Austin or Amy Jo Johnson, I would have probably said no. I would not return to the movie just for fan service. Like, if you're gonna bring back two original actors, at least you could have done is have them do something for an important plot based on cards, not have them being trapped in some type of tunnel where they almost drown. I did not like that scene whatsoever. I hated it. That was probably the worst part about that movie because they were just thrown in there. It made zero sense whatsoever. Even the first half of Turbo was a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? But it did lead to the debut of TJ, Cassie, Carlos, and Ashley, and having Justin stay as the Ranger. But the second half of Turbo was a lot better because of Chip Lynn. Because you can kind of see some good writing in the second half of Turbo, leading up to Power Rangers in Space, one of my personal favorite scenes of all time. But despite that, Turbo is still a bad downgrade, and it's what drove the kids away. And the reason why Zeo and Turbo lost the ratings because Saban made Big Bad Beetleborgs, because that show was also under Saban. Even though it's wacky and campy, but the show was watchable for some odd reason because it was based on Yoko Beat Fighter. And not only that, but it beat Turbo and Zeo. So that should tell you something. If you ain't got no business touching the Sentai, what's the point if you even make it in the first place if you're not gonna throw some original ideas? Even though Turbo, it got better in the second half, the first half in the movie was just that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Turbo in the first half was terrible. Overall, it's still mid, it's still garbage. And last but not least, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the 2017 Power Rangers movie. This movie is so bad, looking back at it now, I was one of those idiots that defended this movie before it even came out. Back in 2016, when they were hyping the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reboot like crazy on social media, on Instagram, and I remember seeing somewhat like a little tease of what the helmets might look like, what the costumes might look like, the power coins and everything, and I was just drawing them. Because y'all know, as an artist myself, I love Power Rangers. I love drawing Power Rangers. It's been one of my favorite heroes growing up. But the 2017 Power Rangers movie is what really got my attention for the most part. To me, I honestly think that when they first showed the helmets, I was one of those fans that defended it, called fans stupid and crazy for hating on it. That was my biggest mistake, because I should have trusted within my own gut is to realize how shady this movie was. Fast forward to the premiere when it came out on Friday, where I went to go see it with my cousin Ashley. Shout out to her. It was like, after 12 months of realizing how bad this movie was, I regret it. I regret watching this movie. I regret seeing this film because I was expecting like some Power Ranger-ish type of movie to feel like a Power Rangers movie with the unmorphed martial arts fights with the putties. It ended up turning out to be something different, and I was not feeling it at all. The toys were terrible, and I know it's not the actor's fault. I didn't like how they written the characters. It felt too long, it felt boring, it took too long for them to morph. And they always kills me with the third act. Anytime with there's like a new Power Rangers movie coming out, they always gotta wait to the third act to morph. But it's how it was done that really, Lord have mercy, it was bad. It was that god awful of a Power Rangers movie that had no business being made in the first place. Like, if you're not gonna put any more effort into making a Power Rangers film, what's the point if you're even making it if you're not gonna appeal to the audience that grew up with playing more for Power Rangers in the first place? That's literally how I felt. And Dean Israelite, one of the absolute worst directors of Power Rangers 2017, it's just terrible. Shaky cam in certain moments, segments, and whatever. Like, it was just bad. And the Megazord was terrible. The Zords looked ugly. And the Rangers themselves, they look bad. I've done hundreds of videos on why the 2017 Power Rangers movie sucked. Brandon Magia just did a video talking about it, and we all reacted to his video a while back. All in all, the 2017 movie was terrible. I stand by what I said. And recently, there was... And look, shout out to Jinzaku. And look, no disrespect, bruh. I know you love the 2017, but I've seen you retweeted a tweet that says, honestly, F the fans for not supporting this movie and why this movie bombed. It's not our fault that the movie sucked. Blame the producers, blame the writers, and blame the director of making this movie terrible. Don't blame us of how bad the movie turned out. It's like you want us to accept bad products. That's not how life works. If it's something that we don't like, we don't have to like it. If the product sucks, then it's not a good movie. There's a reason why the 2017 Power Rangers movie sucked in the first place. Same with the Alien Rangers, same with the Turbo Power Rangers movie and the first half of Turbo, the TV show. It's like nowadays everybody just wants to love bad stuff. It doesn't make any sense, bruh. I'm sorry if I had to rant, but that tweet really made me question this fandom sometimes, though. It's like, y'all are just so confused sometimes, though. Honestly. And like I said, no disrespect to Jinzaku, man. Look, you my boy, and I respect you. If you love the Power Rangers 2017 movie, more power to you. But for me, no. I think you're talking to the wrong fan if you want to get his perspective on the 2017 movie and why it absolutely stunk in the box office, even now. So, okay, so these are just the harsh truths on why Alien Rangers, Power Rangers Turbo / movie and the 2017 Power Rangers movie suck. Because at the end of the day, all we want is good Power Rangers content and good quality entertainment. I mean, thankfully, we're getting all of that back in 2025 with the MMPR reinitial line. Yes, some figures look bad, some look questionable, and most of them look really good for the most part. But at the end of the day, you never know when you might see some information about the live action as far as like Sentai adaptations and a possible remake of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So you never know. So like I said, these are the harsh truths. It's the why these were pretty bad in Power Rangers. So what are your thoughts on my thoughts and opinions? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm out.